Today we're going to talk about how to figure out what type of deadlift you should be starting with. I think the deadlift is a huge value exercise, and I think everybody should be doing it in some way, shape, or form. When you lose your glutes or your glute strength, you tend to gain problems in the form of knee pain or back pain, and things just become more difficult. So we're going to start off by checking to see if your flexibility is up to par, or we need to work on that prior to deadlifting, and then I'm going to show you at the end things you can do to improve that flexibility as part of your warm-up, and then how to modify the deadlift so that you can start deadlifting today if you really wanted to. So let's start off with the flexibility. You're going to lay on your back and do a straight leg raise. So you want to lay back to where, let's start with this left leg, toes are pointing up at the sky. Same on that opposite leg, and you're gonna raise up as high as you can without bending your knee or without letting this opposite leg lift up off the ground or that toe turn out. So very strict there, be honest with yourself. You're gonna pause at the top, and you wanna get a measurement from your ankle bone straight down to that opposite leg. What I look for with clients when I'm starting off, I want their ankle to be about halfway on their thigh or higher. And another thing is symmetry side to side. So some people that are very tight, they'll get about here where their ankle is below the height of their knee and they can't get up much higher. And that's the first yellow light. We want to slow down before you approach the deadlift, work that flexibility, and maybe work on patterning the deadlift, which I'm going to show you at the end of this video. So check to see if you're at least halfway or higher, and you want symmetry side to side. So once you establish that you have the flexibility, that you're halfway on those thighs or higher, and you're symmetrical side to side, I think it's great to start off with the kettlebell deadlift. So the reason I like the kettlebell deadlift is that it's very close to your center of gravity, meaning it puts a lot less stress on your back. It's not as far in front of you as a barbell would be, and you can start off fairly light. So here's where you set up. You're gonna step to where your feet are cut in half by the handle. You're gonna push your butt back as if trying to touch a bar stool behind you. Right when those hands pass your kneecaps, you're gonna squat the rest of the way to the ground. And then from there, you're tightening your abs like you're bracing for a punch. Push your feet down into the floor and stand tall, nice and strong, head to heel. And that's your movement. If you don't quite have the flexibility to get down there, you can put a block or a couple pads underneath the kettlebell, start it at a higher level. And that's okay, you're still gonna get strong there. And like I said, we're gonna work on ways, I'll show you ways to improve your flexibility at the end of this video. Once you have maximized your kettlebell deadlift, meaning you are lifting the heaviest kettlebell in your gym for a set of 10, then you can progress to the Hex Bar Deadlift. Now the reason I like the Hex Bar Deadlift is that pull, or the weight, is just like the kettlebell, and then it's in the center of mass. So low back stress is decreased from your barbell deadlift because you're still right through your center. And now you can start adding a little bit of weight. You'll see that I have some plates resting underneath the plates here that are actually on the bar. And the purpose of that is to limit the range of motion so that way you can get to the bottom position with a flat back, good knee position where those knees are in line with the middle of the shoes or middle toes. And over time, if you can do so pain-free, remove the plates and lift from the ground. So we can always modify that range of motion to where you can still go through your lift, brace the abs like you're bracing for a punch, press your feet straight to the ground and stand tall. You can still work your strength, strengthen your glutes, your hamstrings, your back, and not have to work through a range of motion that's painful. Once you've maximized or have gotten strong on your Hex Bar Deadlift, I'd say if you can lift your body weight for 5 to 10 reps, you're pretty strong there. Entry level strong is what I would say. You can progress to a barbell if you wanted to, a straight bar. Now, unless a client comes to me and says, hey, I really want to learn how to lift on a straight bar, I really have no need to progress them to that. If our intention is to build some definition in the lower body or build strength in the lower body, we can get very, very far as we need to with a Hex Bar. But if you have a desire to mix it up and just want to learn it because it feels badass and you like doing that stuff, then go try the straight bar. Now the reason the straight bar is a little bit more challenging is because it's more in front of your center of mass. I'm no longer pulling from beside me. I gotta pull out in front of me. So setup is the same. You're cutting your feet in half with that barbell. You're pushing your butt back till your fingers get below the knees, and then squat your way to the barbell. So your shins are right up against that bar. That's nice and close to you. Brace like you're bracing for a punch. Push your feet into the ground, and you're reversing that motion. It's a lift. Think of it like a squat till you pass the knees, and then you're pushing your hips forward to stand tall. Now again, you can throw a couple plates underneath to lift that up. You can also pull from a rack, like a squat rack with arms, to lift that up to a range of motion that you have great control of. The point here is that there is a deadlift type that you can start with, no matter who you are. It's just a matter of figuring out the weight that's challenging, but doable with excellent form, and the range of motion that's challenging, but again, doable with excellent form. Now, if you found yourself limited in that test, that straight leg test, here's two things you can throw into your warm-up. They're gonna help you improve your mobility. The first one is a straight leg assist. So you're gonna need a pull-up rig, or you can do this in a door frame. One leg is gonna be resting up on the door frame or the pull-up rig. And just like in that test, you want your toes of the down leg pointing up at the ceiling, and you want to squeeze in the quad of that straight leg. Now you're going to get as close as you can to that bar or door while keeping that form. Once you find that spot, you're going to get a stretch, obviously in the back of this leg. You're going to do some active raises. I'm pressing my low back to the ground. I'm tightening my abs like I'm bracing for a punch. I'm going to raise that opposite leg up to match. Exhale strong and tap the ground. So we're gonna do about 5 to 6 reps here. And over time, the goal is to be able to scoot closer and closer to that frame, just making sure that the stretch isn't too much and it's not causing me, one, to twist out, bend my knee, arch my back. I wanna maintain control there. That's super important to developing a good pattern in your deadlift. The second one is a toe touch progression. You're gonna need a wedge. If you don't have a wedge, you can use a towel and roll it up, nice long towel. You want it to be about an inch, inch and a half thickness. And then you're gonna need either a pillow or a yoga block to squeeze between your knees. So we're gonna start off with our heels up on the block. We're gonna turn this way, as you can see. Heels up on the block, and then you're gonna take that pillow or yoga block and squeeze it between your knees. You wanna be active there the whole time. From that, you're gonna push your butt back, little bend in the knees, keep your back as flat as you can for as long as you can, and then once you run out of that space, you can't go down any further, that's when you look back around to touch the toes. Take a deep breath, slowly roll back up, and repeat. So you're gonna do 5 repetitions there, nice and slow. Again, squeeze into that block, keep your back as flat as you can, as long as you can. You'll notice my butt is behind my heels, and that's what you want. Once you get as low as you can there, let the back round, touch the toes, come back up. You got 5 reps there, then you're gonna flip around, toes up now on the ramp, squeeze the block again, same process. Back as flat as you can, as long as you can, and then roll down, touch the toes, take a breath, slowly roll back up. 5 reps there, and then you can finish with 5 reps just straight on the floor. Nice squeeze into the block. Back as flat as you can, as long as you can. You get the idea by now. Round. And once you got 5 reps there, you can just reach down, see if you can touch your toes, and that could be a good gauge of your progress. Do a little before and after test. These are all great progressions. If you do have pain, sharp pain, tingly, anything that you're uncertain of, get it checked out by a physical therapist, because they're gonna get you set up on the right track, making sure that you're progressing towards your goal without injury. And we all know that reducing injury is the fastest way to achieving goals. So try out these variations of a deadlift. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself and put yourself into uncomfortable situations. If you guys have questions, leave a comment down below. If you tried this stuff out and it worked well for you, let us know. I'd love to hear that. And of course, if you have questions or requests on exercise you want to see in the future, let me know, because we love talking about this stuff here at Strive, and I would love to make a video on your requests in the future. Thanks for watching, guys.